Join me, Diani Leal, real estate investment specialist in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, as we dive into this developing city's unique real estate market conditions, infrastructural plans, neighborhood dynamics, and other economic factors that can indicate what kind of real estate investment is most likely to show you some return. Hi, thanks for tuning in. I'm Diani Leal, and this channel is brought to you by Dianimite Investment Realty, based out of Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. We're here today with Herman Borboya and Arturo Zepeda from Mexico, from Chiapas and Guadalajara. And they have started this beautiful and incredible custom-made furniture shop right in the heart of Puerto Vallarta, and we're actually here right now. We're going to take you on a little tour, but first I want to hear a little bit about you guys, and of course we want to hear your story.
Yeah, okay. Well, first of all, thank you for coming to visit us. We'll have such a pleasure to having you around and to show you what we have created right here in the heart of the romantic zone. And I'm Herman, and a real estate investor and as well a project manager with Casa Artesano, and so we are very pleased to bring something completely new and fresh to the investors and to people in general.
And it's really cool what you've created here. And so first, before we even get into the details of all of the uniqueness and how you guys are breaking boundaries with this incredible store, how did the idea even come to you? Like, what brought you to this point?
I'm from Guadalajara, and I studied also my university in Spain. So it's for that now. I use that mix when I do the interior design about the Mediterranean style, and mixes with the contemporary Mexican style as well.
Yeah, you can see it. It's really beautiful. How long ago was this idea born?
Well, this idea was started a few years ago to work with many of the handcraftsmen in Mexico, and also for use local materials. So we decided to open a new store or a new brand for show to the people that Mexican style could be also contemporary style. Many people have an opinion to the Mexican design.
Yes.
And they think that always needs to be very colorful, or some flowers, or those kind of things.
I know, and Herman, you mentioned this when we first were chatting before the cameras were rolling, but that you guys are trying to bring to light modern contemporary Mexican style, and really demonstrate and show the world that it's not what this impression of bright yellow tiles and flowers and kind of tacky stuff, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think,
and I don't think everybody has that impression, but I know what you mean.
So you as a realtor have had the experience of walking into properties that haven't been touched in 20 odd years.
Yeah.
And find out that they have the blue Frida Kahlo, the yellow, shiny yellow, and sometimes.
And the tiles. I don't know the tiles.
Yes,
I'm traumatized by the tiles.
Yeah, tiles can be quite traumatic to walk into a place and see that each room has
colors.
a different tile and
the colors.
the shiniest colors as possible. But as well is the fact that now in Mexico, in the whole Mexico, is a big movement of the contemporary Mexican interior design.
And this is countrywide.
Countrywide. You can see for the likes of Tulum, the architecture that they are doing for the development, interior designs. You can see on the likes as well as Oaxaca, Mexico City, Puebla. So now we thought that it was needed in Puerto Vallarta.
Oh wow! Yeah, putting it on the map for tasteful design.
Exactly.
And not just hotels and resorts and that are kind of stale, but that modern boho and
the boho chic, as you said, the boho chic,
yeah.
That is really lacking in Puerto Vallarta.
Yeah.
And so what better to as well to make a differentiation for all the investors, to have a property who is set apart for the rest when you have a really nice and tasteful, not expensive interior design.
Yeah.
But we want to show them that having a good taste, having good pieces, it doesn't mean that you have to pay over the roof. And that's what Casa Artesano come in to give a whole full solution. Because what we do as well as your clients, for example, if they are going to buy a house or a condominium and their plan is to put it on Airbnb, and sometimes they are afraid because they don't know, is the language barrier of how to quote, they don't want to feel that they are getting ripped off. And so
and it's also that Vallarta has a reputation for having very expensive furniture. So you think, I've got to go to Guadalajara, and then you're navigating that world, and that's even more because you don't even know Mexico, you don't speak the language, so it can be really overwhelming for foreigners. I know it's a lot, especially you buy pre-sale, you get a bare bones place.
Yes.
You've got to figure it out.
And so what we as a Casa Artesano are offering now to like your clients and public in general is we give you the solution. You come with us and we cater the solution as you need. We can give a completely turnkey solution in which you come, you say, hey, my condominium is going to be delivered at the end of the summer and I need it to be furnished. And we will work through with you to find the lights, the mood, the style, and you literally will have to just wait and open the door and everything will be there.
So full service,
Furnitures,
custom made.
Everything. You will find fully furnished, fully decorated, all the sheets, all the towels, all the expense, everything that you need for that unit, either for you to live in and start enjoying it, or for you to start having the bookings for your rentals.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be worried about it. And this is the whole solution. Of course, and absolutely, the taste is included. The good taste is included.
Yeah,
so
of course. And it's true because a lot of people hire people just to give them advice on what to buy. You know what I mean? So
yes.
It's like you're selecting it, and they can trust you.
They are afraid that do a nice interior design because they think they're gonna spend a lot of money. But no, having a great place is not only to spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
This is about taste.
Yeah.
I think.
Exactly.
We offer obviously all the furnishings, but people as well, some people as well buy properties that need a little bit of work, so they can be comfortable to come with us, and we work out an architectural plan, remodeling, so we can customize absolutely everything. But we have a very specific design, in the sense that we will try to make the most to working with local materials, which for us is kind of give the authenticity of the place.
Yeah.
Because we consider that it's important that even that Puerto Vallarta is becoming very modern, this is well not to lose the authenticity of what Puerto Vallarta was famous for. And it's the traditional architecture, but with a twist,
Yeah.
and a taste. And so that's what is important for us to have this shop, this studio, and for people to really be introduced a whole new work of design. And
The
Yeah.
first goal is to give to any client or any space its own personality and a nice character when you know. when
Yeah. So
go
you
to-
guys, each space that you design is different.
Yes.
They don't all look the same. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about what exactly you offer? Kind of take us on a tour.
Absolutely. Well, the creative mind is Arturo. He is the one who.
So you design everything.
Yes.
And you, so just to make sure I understand the origin, you're sourcing local materials, pieces.
This new line of furniture was designing from about prehispanic geometry, symbols.
And like for example, we refer to Mayan and Aztecs geometrics. You can see the pieces of, for example, the sculpture that is right in the corner, standing with the dots, and then as well the sofa with the stripes is a very Aztec motif and geometrical. So that was the main inspiration for the first collection for the shop. No? But what Arturo has done amazingly well is to collaborate with small workshops in Guadalajara who works ceramics. So as you can see, a lot of ceramics, a lot of glassware as well, in which Arturo has an input in, this amazing workshop, family-owned workshops, very tiny, that Arturo is able to go and talk to them and inspire them and share with them what he's expecting and the vision.
Wow.
And for them to bring them to reality.
Oh, that's great, clever. It helps to be from Guadalajara, huh?
Like the material, the finish that we use for the walls, floor is a finish from the south of Mexico. It's named Chukum, and it's a great material for the humidity.
Okay.
So,
and it came from a tree.
Yeah.
So yes, as you can see on the shop, from the floor, the ceilings, the walls, is some material that is being used for generations in the south of Mexico, in the south of the Caribbean. However, in the Pacific is very new, and actually, perhaps, and I don't want to be so pretentious, but I will dare to say that is the very first place that you can go and see the Chukum within the area.
Oh.
So, and it's an amazing natural material. It can be used for anything: walls, interiors, exteriors, even pools, and as well comes in different colors. And it's
practical too.
It's the most
and sustainable. Like, it's a good investment for
Yeah, because one of the things as well is a lot of people is very focused on trying to use any kind of stones for the floor or the counters. However, they don't forget some of them, depending the investment. If it's an Airbnb, people have to consider the cost of maintenance and the upkeep, because an Airbnb always will get more run down than a normal house.
I feel like this is a very important point, and I want to, elaborate a little bit more, especially for our viewers, many who are investors and they're interested in either kind of like a half and half thing, where they come here and rent it out on Airbnb for the other half of the time, or, year round, just an investment property. And, you guys, I think your personal experience as investors, and you rent out, I know you have a couple units in Mexico, Mexico City, and you rent them out on Airbnb. And I think what you're saying is such an important thing to think about, because a lot of people are like, yeah, I'll just Airbnb it out, or it already comes fully furnished, or this or that. And, suddenly they realize that it's not, either it doesn't rent well because it's not attractive, and your marketing is everything, and the appearance of your place and more professional, or it's too personal and it's like awkward, it's not, the more like and Airbnb is different than a hotel. Hotels are stale. Airbnbs are homey, but they're not so homey that you've got like your kids, stuffed animals and your personal items everywhere either. And it seems like this is a great combination between the two, and then the practicality of it sustaining, having lots of visitors. It seems great.
So in our experiences, even myself, properties in Mexico City, Arturo has properties here that rents in Puerto Vallarta. And one of the things as an investor, it's always easy to say, oh, my Airbnb will be average rented 70% a year. Wow, it's amazing. I can charge X amount per night. And they do the math, and it's fascinating. And then the reality hits when the unit is not renting, or you have to reduce the fee per day to try some luck. And then people start blaming many things. Oh, it's the season, or it's the unit. But at the end of the day, it's the fact that when you really see a unit of investment that is going to be dedicated to be an Airbnb, you have to think for the convenience of the guests that you're going to host. And that means the criteria, the demographics of where is the building located, which is the price that is going to be charged, and what are they expecting to find for that price.
Yeah.
Because it's not just you in a building of 50 units. It's not the only one who wants to put it in the Airbnb. There will be probably 48 more units will be an Airbnb as well.
Yeah.
And what will be your UPS, or unique point of sale? how the place look. Is it, and sorry to say, but is the place Instagrammable enough?
Yeah.
And so, and by thinking like that, and then thinking as well the maintenance, the upkeep of the place, which materials are you using? Are, people don't care if they stain it with wine or no, they spill oil on the kitchen counter. So it's easy to replace, it's easy to come. So using the materials, and that's what Arturo and the approach that has with interior design is, okay, let's design something that is practical, sustainable, that it doesn't break the bank every single time that I need to fix something.
Yeah.
And because it's local materials, I know that I can replace it quickly.
Yeah.
And also because it's very important to know which material you're gonna use because the weather too.
Exactly.
Because not all the woods can be used here or some kind of material, so it's very important because the humidity.
Yeah, and it's, and how often do you want to be called in or having to replace it? And you think about that investment also.
So we try to use good materials, different wood that you can use it in this weather.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's I feel like
fabrics
that's
as well needs to be very important.
yeah. Another thing that's interesting, I spend a lot of time trying to analyze data, on AirDNA, which is, a site that's dedicated to analyzing the rate of return for Airbnb and VRBO. And you can look at a region and you see, the wide range of rental revenue the different properties get in the same location, sometimes within the same condominium complex, right? And you're like, this is the same place. And you see a wide range of figures, and I try to provide accurate, summaries to my clients on, projections of what the value is. But really, and I've heard a couple interviews from investors as well that were talking about this too. Like, you can't just go on that because you, as the investor, you have a lot of pull for how much revenue you're actually going to make on your Airbnb, and a lot of that comes from the furnishing, and that's and also the toques, right?
Yes.
Because you have the soaps, which is a nice, like, just nice pretty soap, and having the little towel and like a little flower, or just those nice things, and when you see it you think, oh, somebody cared, and that's also another part. Like, they care. Oh, this was so nice. What a cute little place. Like, they put this little thing. Oh, I feel so good. I'm gonna go write a really nice review. It is.
And
it's
then,
about how you feel too.
And then
As a
something that I consider that people tend to forget when they are doing those type of investment is that it's not all about the property, that it will be, I will have it rented all the time just because it's in that building.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It's not like that. It's been proven, and you can go and look and ask for the experience of people who the last thing they thought is, oh, I didn't allocate any percentage of money of my investment to actually make the place functional. I spent everything on the property, and now I need to go and buy sale outlet furniture because I didn't count to that. So we always recommend to people to say, well, get a percentage of what you're investing, allocate a percentage to spend on furniture and furnishes and decorating.
Yeah.
Because it goes hand in hand.
And what percentage do you recommend?
So it can vary, but at the end of the day, it's more about, I think that people has to consider the demographics of the guests that they are going to allocate.
Like, is it going to be like, is it in the gay area, or is it, families? Like, that's going to change your budget, or what else?
For example, I would think that $1 million, will talk about very generic and a very generic example. $1 million property, you will be at least allocating between 5 to 8%
of the
value.
Okay.
Because because the damage that you can do to your investment is that it can be $1 million property, but if you went and furnish it with the cheapest furniture you found, you are damaging your investment.
Yeah.
Because people, when you see, oh, it's an ex-famous building on the beach, wow, what people is going to pay for that is luxury. They're expecting certain comforts that if you are not giving them, they're going to write a bad review about you.
Yeah.
So,
and it's like, yeah, that I think that's a really good point. Like, you know, and you look at those, you know, properties and they're grossing a lot of revenue, and it's like, well, you know, it looks easy when you look at the numbers. It's like, well, they just bought a really nice place, but it's not, you know, once you reach a certain level, the expectations. Right, yeah.
And when it's very well calculated, your numbers, people must keep in mind that in the first year of the rentals, they will be recovering the expenses of the furniture.
Yeah.
And it's, I have seen it with many properties.
It is an investment with a return.
Yes.
Yeah.
So people think, oh my God, it's not expense, because what you are doing is securing that the property is going to be rented most of the time. It's going to have amazing reviews. It's going to guarantee you people who wants to go back and rent it and start creating a history with you. And that's what you want.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
Because forget about, oh, it has a nice pool, it has a nice cabanas. No, at the end of the day, people want to have the experience. Airbnb is all about experience. What you're experiencing the place, if the place per se is giving you the illusion to be perhaps in another place. You know,
you travel. Like to feel cozy when you go inside to a place.
Yeah.
And it's nothing better than exceed expectations. Exceed expectations of you guys.
Yes, absolutely. They say happiness is the difference between expectations and reality.
Exactly.
So, you know, if they come in and the higher price point you're getting, the higher the expectations are right off the bat. So to exceed them, you're going to have to go above and beyond, and you should.
Yes.
You should, because it'll pay off.
Yes.
You know?
Because at the end of the day, a house is just the shell. And the story that it will set the house is design, is the interior design, that it will tell the story of the place, the story of the owners, and it will be the most memorable.
Yeah.
You will remember the place because it has to make you feel.
Yeah. So, and then you're going to want to go. I know people that go back to the same Airbnb, you know? Yeah. They rent it the second they leave because they want to get it for the next trip. You know, It's like, that's, you know, that's success in creating that, you know, that feeling of home and, you know, yeah.
So we are very, because of our own experience, so we're very focused on catering to all clients, of course. But we understand the people or the clients or investors who have that in mind. And we can work with a specific investment amount that they have allocated in order to create that and to help them to be successful in that investment.
Yeah.
Because it's nothing for us more happy to see our clients happy with the decision that we are going to help them make in order for them to maximize their investment.
Yeah.
And it's a mistake to think that I will think about that later. No. Start
think about it
the
now.
First moment.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, it's true, because you want to get started off on the right foot. And you're creating you're building your brand for your Airbnb, you know? So you want to, you know, start off by having the reputation for excellence that you want people to, you know, to talk about.
Because, you know, when you have bad reviews on Airbnbs or Verbo,
it's hard to recover.
It's there forever. You cannot get rid of them. And so you better start with the right foot.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it's just those little details that may damage in the long term.
Oh gosh, it's so true. It's so helpful, I think, for people to hear about this kind of thing, because a lot of people do, you know, you got to start somewhere, right? So a lot of people that are doing this for the first time, or they're doing it for the first time here in Vallarta, so they don't really know, you know, what the expectation is. It's a different, you know, country, a different culture, a different, you know, market, and so to understand, you know, that this is the expectation, really.
And as well,
Well, no, this exceeds the expectation because people do come with like lower expectations,
Yes.
and then
And I think another factor that as well, I think for your clients and the general public is we are nationals. We understand how to work with people, with different workshops, with different handcraft. But as well, we're bilingual, so we understand. We have worked with clientele from different parts of the world, so we understand those expectations. We understand how afraid can be to invest in another country, and at the end of the day, we are all looking after our pocket. And the last thing we want to feel is that you are being ripped off.
Absolutely, and that's the thing, like creating that sense of trust, because and you guys are, you're having to work against, a reputation that's already been set up by, tons of people in the industry who have disappointed their clients, right? And so, to kind of come out and say, hey, here we are, and, you can trust us, and we are, we're going to deliver. And I think that it can be hard at first, but it's really what people want, and they're waiting for it. So that's why you have so many customers, I imagine.
For us, it's more important, obviously, that our clients at the end feels happy with our work, because like that at the end is how they recommend it to you.
Yeah. So can you tell people, viewers, anybody watching, how they can find you, any information about yourself? Of course, we'll put, the information and any links in the description of the video, but if there's anything else you want to add about, how people can get in touch.
So our main is our website, which is Casa Artesano .mx. And so you will be able there to see all our collaborations, shop, our location, our Instagram account, and basically reach out to that. So we will always answer anything, any question that you have. And of course, they can visit us in the street of the famous El Brujo restaurant.
Oh, okay. This is very centralized. I'm sure you can hear the buses go by. That's because we're right in town.
As soon as you get into the last, we're right there on the right-hand side, across the street of the beautiful, massive tree. And you'll see three houses that are the same color, which are designed by Arturo as well. So it's very, very unique our shop as well. So we will be here on Monday to Saturday. So.
And it's really beautiful. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for visiting us. Yes, thank you.
And thank you for tuning in. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet. If you like the content, if you like the video, also any sort of like is really helpful for us. And please leave a comment if you have anything to say about everything we've talked about. And until next time. Bye.